Hello everyone, welcome back. Today for our chapter 12, we are going to discuss about the developing and pricing product. This chapter is the continuation of the previous chapter whereby we focus a little bit deeper on two P's, which is products and also price. In this chapter, we will identify important classification of products. We will also discuss the activities involved in developing new products. We will then finally examine the setting prices that appeal to each target audience. When developing the marketing mix for any product, marketers must consider what customers really want when they purchase the products. Then only marketers can plan strategies effectively. Whether it is a physical goods or services or maybe some combination of the two, customers get value from various benefits, features and rewards associated with a product. Product features, if you see here, so we look at product features. Product features are the qualities, whether it's tangible or intangible, that a company builds into its product, such as a 1.5cc car, or maybe taste and health benefit from vitamins, or the style of the shirt itself. These are all product features. Today's customers regard a product as a bundle of attributes, benefits and features, which if you take them together, marketers call them as the value package. This one here. Increasingly, buyers expect to receive products with greater value, with more benefit and features at a reasonable cost. So a firm must compete on the basis of enhanced value package. Let's take example of value package when buying a laptop. When purchasing a laptop, customers will get all the following value package, which are attractive colors and design, useful software packages, attractive prices, discounts, and also warranties. These are all what we call as the value package. We can classify products according to expected buyers, who falls into two categories: buyers of consumer products and also buyers of organizational or industrial products. As we saw earlier in chapter 11, the customers and industrial buying processes differ significantly. Similarly, marketing products to consumers is very different from marketing products to companies and other organizations. Consumer products are divided into three categories that reflect buyers' behavior. The first one is convenience goods and convenience services. The second one is shopping goods and shopping services. The last one is specialty goods and specialty services. Let's take a look at each of them a little bit deeper. The first one here, convenience goods and also convenience services. These types of products are consumed rapidly and regularly. They are inexpensive and are often purchased with little input of time or effort. So example of convenience goods is maybe milk, newspaper. An example of convenience services are those who are offered by fast food restaurants. Again, they are consumed rapidly and regularly. The next one are shopping goods and shopping services. Example of shopping goods are appliances and mobile devices. Example of shopping services such as hotel or airline reservation. These type of goods, they are more expensive and they are purchased less often than convenience products. So we are discussing this too, yeah. Consumers often compare brands and sometimes in different stores and also through internet searches. They may also evaluate alternatives in terms of style, performance, color, price, and other criteria. The last one is specialty goods and also specialty services. Example of specialty goods such as wedding gowns and also specialty services may be catering for wedding reception or healthcare insurance. These are extremely important and they are expensive purchases. Consumers normally they decide on precisely what they want and will accept no other substitute. They often go from sources to sources, sometimes spending a great deal of money and time to get a specific products. Let's move on to the organizational products, or sometimes called as industrial products. Depending on how much they cost and how they will be used, industrial products can be divided into three categories. The first one is production items. Production items are goods or services that are used directly in the conversion or production processes. such as petroleum that is converted into gasoline, and also passenger demand information that is converted later on into bus or train services. Most consumer products, which include food, clothing, housing, and entertainment services, they are created from production items. Okay. The second one is the expense items. Expense items are goods and services that are consumed within 1 year by organization producing other goods or supplying other services. Example of these are oil and electricity for machines, building machines, legal services. So those are the example of expense items. The last one is the capital items. Capital items are longer lasting. They are expensive and sometimes permanent goods or services. They have expected life of more than a year. They typically are expected to last several years. Example of this is building itself. So this is the examples of categories of consumer goods. You can see the categories here. Okay, you can also see the description, which I have summarized, and also the examples here. You can take your time later on. You can pause this and then you can maybe take 1 minute to read it quickly. This is the example of organizational product, or we call as industrial products. You can see the category also here, the description here, and also the examples here, the one that I just summarized later on. Again, you can take 1 minute, pause this video and read this slide. Moving on, we are now discussing how a company develop new products. You see, to expand or to survive, firms must develop and introduce new products to the market. Even products that have been popular for decades need frequent renewal to keep up with the changes in technology, maybe changes in consumer taste. But creating a new product requires brainstorming, it requires market testing and other things which will delay the launch of the product to the market. You see, the faster the product is being introduced, the higher chance it will survive and become a leader in the market itself. How important is speed to introduce to the market itself? One study reports that a product that is only 3 months late to the market, 3 months behind the leader, loses 12% of its lifetime profit potential. After 6 months delay, it will lose 33% of the profit potential. I'm closing my webcam for a while so that we can see all the wordings here. To increase the chances of developing a new successful product, many firms follow 7 steps of development process. This one here. Normally, this is used for developing physical goods. What we do is that we start the first step by looking at the product idea. Product development begins with a search for ideas for new products. Ideas typically come from consumers, the sales force, research and development departments, suppliers, or even engineering personnel. Once we have the product idea, we will then go to screening process. In this stage, this stage is designed to eliminate ideas that do not align with the firm's ability or objective. A representative from marketing, engineering, operation, finance will provide input at this stage. Once we have screened our ideas, we will then move on to concept testing. Once ideas have been screened, companies use market research to get consumers' input about benefits and prices. The next step is business analysis. You see, after you gather consumer opinions, marketers will then compare production cost and also benefit. And then we will move on to prototype development. Once the firm has determined the potential profitability of a product, engineering, research and development or design groups, they will then produce a prototype. Sometimes this can be very expensive. Once they have produced prototype, we go to the next step, which is product testing and test marketing. We apply lessons from the prototype. Once we have applied lessons from the prototype, the company will go into limited production. It will then test the product to see if it meets the performance requirement. The last step of our development process is called as commercialization. If test marketing proves positive, the company will start to have full-scale production and also marketing. The product will then reach the market. When a product reaches the market, it enters the product life cycle, PLC. PLC is a series of stages through which product passes during its commercial life. Depending on the product's ability to keep attracting and also to keep their customers, their PLC may be a matter of months, years or decade. PLC is like a life of a product. It starts, product will start, they will grow, and also they will end in decline or even death of the product. And just like human life, some products have longer life while some have a shorter lifespan. We can see the stages of PLC here. So we have 4 stages: introduction stage, we have growth stage, we have maturity stage, we also have decline stage. These are all the 4 stages of product life cycle. Let's take a look at each of the 4 phases of product life cycle. The first one is the introduction phase or introduction stage. At this stage begins when product reaches the marketplace. Here, marketers focus on making potential customers aware of the product and also their benefits. And then, the product will move on to the growth stage. If the new product attracts enough customers, sales start to climb rapidly. Marketers may lower price slightly and still continue promotional effort to increase their sales. At this stage, the product starts to earn profits as revenue surpasses costs. But during this phase, you will see competitors start offering products similar to yours. And then the product will move on to maturity stage. This is normally the longest stage in PLC for many products. During this stage, you will see growth in sales until it reaches max sales before they slowly decline. Although the product earns its highest profit level early in this stage, increased competition will eventually force price cutting. Towards the end, sales start to fall. And then they will move on, the product will then move to the next phase, the last phase, which is the decline phase. During this phase, sales and profits continue to fall as new products are introduced in the market, which actually takes away the sales. Marketing will either stop or maybe reduce their promotional effort. You can see this is the profit in the PLC. During introduction, we are making a loss, but during growth, we will start to make profit. Maturity is where we make most of the profit, and then you can see profit decline or stagnant itself. Companies try to keep products in maturity stage as long as they can. Hence, we have 3 ways to extend our product life. The first one is product extension. In product extension, an existing market is marketed globally instead of just domestically. Coca-Cola, KFC, Levi's are all examples of many product extension. We can also use product adaptation. With product adaptation, the product is modified for greater appeal in different countries. In Germany, for example, a McDonald's meal includes beer. And also company Ford puts steering wheel on the right side for sales in Japan or also in Malaysia. Because it involves product changes, this method is actually more costly compared to product extension. The last one is reintroduction. Reintroduction means reviving. For new markets, so what we do is that we revive for new markets products that have become obsolete in older one. For example, Boeing sell their older models of aircraft to third world countries. So this is reintroduction. As I explained last time, developing a product feature is just a part of marketers' job. Marketers must also ensure that customer recognizes the product, often by using the brands. Branding is actually a process of using names and symbols like Coca-Cola, the Mercedes 3-star logo, or McDonald's golden arch. So this usage is actually to communicate the qualities of a particular product made by a particular producers. Brands are designed to signal quality. Customers who try and like a product can return to it again by remembering their brand, their name, also their logo. Brand is a very valuable asset. Companies spend a lot of money for branding purposes, and they are also very protective of their brand. Companies like Starbucks, KFC has seen other smallest companies trying to copy their brand. Several benefits result from successful branding, which can include brand loyalty and also brand awareness. Brand awareness is the brand name that first comes to your mind when you consider a particular product category. What company, for example, comes to your mind when you brush your teeth? For many people, Colgate is the first one to pop up, even though there's plenty more brands out there. Another example, what company comes to your mind when you want to search things online? Most of us will just say Google it. Google is a very successful brand until it is used normally in our daily communication. This table shows the ranking of top global brands based on the estimate of their dollar values. Okay, you can see Apple, Google, Coke, Microsoft, and then others. Okay guys, this is our lecture code for today, NTB0983. Please key in the lecture code. Thank you so much. So move on, we go to pricing. The second major component of marketing mix is pricing. Pricing here is actually the process to determine what customers pay and what the seller receive in exchange for a product. Pricing objective are the goals that sellers hope to achieve in pricing products for sale. Some companies have profit maximizing objective, while others have maybe market share pricing objective. Okay guys, we move on to profit maximizing objective. So when a company focus on profit maximizing, company will normally set prices to maximize profit, and they would start to set the selling prices to which they would sell that will generate the highest total profit. If a company sets a price too low, then they would be forced to sell more products and they would miss out additional profit for each of the products sold. If a company sells too high, then it will make a large profit on each item sold, but it will sell fewer units. Generally, many firms set prices to cover the cost and achieve sales target returns for their owners itself. So if you look at the equation here, you can see the revenue. If we follow profit maximizing objective, the revenue is actually selling price times unit sold, and this is very critical to determine the firm revenue itself. In the long run, businesses must make profit to survive. However, sometimes they are willing to accept minimal profit or even losses just to get buyers to try their products. So this is what we call as market share or market penetration objective. So market share is the company's percentage of the total industry sales for a specific product type. You see, even with established products, market share leadership is very important, that sometimes they are more important than profit itself as a pricing objective. Whatever the company objectives are, managers like to measure the potential impact before deciding on final price. So we have two tools that we use for this purpose. So the tools are cost-oriented pricing and also break-even analysis. So we have the first one. These tools can actually be used alone, but often companies use both tools instead. The first tool is the cost-oriented pricing. Cost-oriented pricing consider the firm's desire to make a profit and it still need to cover production costs. So in this case, what we do is that our selling price would be profit and also the cost itself. So we would determine our seller's cost, and then we decide our profit that we want. That will then be our selling price. Using a cost-oriented pricing, a firm can cover variable costs. So here we can see variable cost. What is a variable cost? Variable costs are costs that changes with the number of units of a product produced and sold, such as raw materials, sales commission, shipping. These are all variable costs. But you see, firms also have to pay for fixed costs. Fixed costs is actually rent, insurance, utilities that a company must pay regardless of the number of units produced and sold. So if we have a factory that we have to pay rent, if we produce 1 unit or 1,000 units, we still have to pay the same exact rent. That's what we call as fixed cost. And when we use break-even analysis, they identify the sales volume where total cost equal to total revenue, and we assess cost versus revenues for various sales volume, and then we show at each particular selling price the amount of loss or profit at each volume of sales. Let's take a look at break-even point. By doing a break-even point, we can actually clearly know how many unit of products we need to sell to cover all our variable and also our fixed costs. When we achieve the break-even point, we don't make any profits, but we are also not making any losses itself. So we have the formula here to use break-even point, which is profit, total revenue minus total fixed cost and also total variable cost. The pricing tool that we discussed previously help managers to set prices of specific goods, but they do not cover pricing strategy based on different situations. Here we look at the pricing strategies or tactics. In pricing existing product, a firm have three options. Again, this is only for pricing existing product. So we have three options. The first one is that, look at the first one. The first one, we price the product slightly above the market price for similar product, and we take advantage of our common human perception or assumption that higher price means higher quality. So let's say we have this mouse here that are priced in the market price, they are being sold at 50 ringgit. So we sell it at slightly above, maybe 55 ringgit. And it gives the impression as if this is actually a higher quality price. That's why it is more expensive. So that's the first one. The second one, we can then price our product below market price, but we offer more or less similar quality. This is where we tackle people who likes product which are cheaper compared to competitors. Okay. The last one, we price at or near market prices. So if this is at 50 ringgit, we price it at 49, 51 ringgit, 52 ringgit. So this is actually the third pricing strategy. But this only works for existing products. So we can slightly higher than market, lower than market price, or similar with market price. When we price new products, company can choose between higher prices or lower pricing. We have two options when we introduce new market. The first option is what we call as price skimming. Again guys, this is only for new products. We can use price skimming or we can use penetration pricing. When you use price skimming, we set an initially high price to cover the production cost and also to generate profit. So we start our product with high price. If we use penetration pricing, we start selling our new product at a very low cost. And the reason why is that we don't care about covering cost or generate profit yet. We actually want to establish our presence in the market itself. So high is just to cover cost and also to make profit as soon as possible. Penetration pricing is actually to establish our presence in the market. But you see, price skimming or the high price only works if marketers can convince customers that the new product is very different from their existing product. And also, it can only work if there is no major competitors in the market. Whereas penetration pricing, lower pricing, only works when you have competitors or you expect to have competitors very soon. This is just to stimulate trial purchases and also get customers' interest. So we have to look at situation to decide whether we use price skimming or penetration pricing. Now we focus on pricing tactics. There are three pricing tactics that we are going to cover today. The first pricing tactic is actually bundling strategy. A bundling strategy, they group several products together to be sold as a single unit rather than individually. Again, we group several products together to be sold as a single unit rather than individually. Suppose you have two insurance policy with different companies. One for life insurance and another one for auto or car insurance. You may benefit from bundling. That is, you buy both policies as a package from just one company. That's how bundling strategy works. Regardless of the pricing strategy, a company must adopt one or more pricing tactics. Companies selling multiple items in a product category often use price lining. So we offer all items in certain categories at a limited number of price. At a department store, for example, they might predetermine 175 ringgit, 255 ringgit, or 400 ringgit as the price point for men's suit. So all men's suit will be set at one of these three prices. This is what we call as price lining. The last one is psychological pricing. Psychological pricing take advantage of the fact that customers are not completely rational when making buying decision. We are not completely rational. So one type of psychological pricing is called as the odd-even pricing. How does it work? It is based on the theory that customers prefer prices that are not stated in even amount of dollars or ringgit. Therefore, customers regard prices of 1,000, 100 or 50 and 10 ringgit as significantly higher than 995, 999.95, 99.95 or 9 ringgit 95 cent, which is they deem as cheaper. So if you put 1,000 ringgit Malaysia or 999 ringgit, people will always perceive that this 999 is still cheaper. This is what we call as odd even pricing, which we can see being practiced everywhere. Sellers must also often resort to price reduction or discount to stimulate sales. Auto dealers, vacation resorts, airlines and hotels, they offer discount prices to stimulate demand during off-peak season. That's all guys for today. So we have covered our chapter, which is chapter 12, where we discuss about pricing and also promotion. Thank you so much guys. Have a good day.